The 5 dimensions of personality, also known as the Big Five or 5-factor model, are a widely accepted framework for describing and measuring personality traits. These dimensions capture the broad range of human personality variation. They are, first, openness to experience. So this dimension reflects a person's tendency to be open, imaginative, and receptive to new ideas, experiences, and emotions. Individuals high in openness are often curious, creative, and willing to explore unconventional or abstract concepts. Second, conscientiousness. When we say conscientiousness, it refers to a person's level of organization, responsibility, and self-discipline. Individuals high in conscientiousness are generally reliable, diligent, and focused. They tend to plan ahead, work diligently to achieve their goals, and have a strong sense of duty. Third, extroversion. Extroversion measures a person's level of sociability, assertiveness, and presence for external stimulation. Meaning, extroverted individuals tend to be outgoing, energetic, and seek social interaction. They gain energy from being around others and often enjoy being the center of attention. Fourth, agreeableness. This dimension reflects a person's tendency to be compassionate, cooperative, and considerate of others. Meaning, the people high in agreeableness are generally warm, empathetic, and friendly. They value harmony in relationships and are often described as kind, trusting, and helpful. Last is neuroticism, or sometimes reversed as emotional stability. So, neuroticism represents a person's level of emotional instability, anxiety, and moodiness. Meaning, individuals high in neuroticism may experience higher levels of negative emotions such as worry, sadness, and anger. Meaning, they tend to be more reactive to stressors and have difficulty coping with challenges. Overall, it is important to note that these dimensions are not mutually exclusive, and individuals may exhibit varying degrees of each trait. The Big Five provides a useful framework for understanding personality, predicting behavior, and assessing individual differences.
We have 6 significance or importance of personality development. Number 1 is confidence. Confidence is assurance in our own abilities, knowledge, judgment, and power. Confidence also, it gives positive views of ourselves and our abilities. Number 2, credibility. Credibility have the assurance that when you are managing them and assessing the performance, you are yourself competent and trustworthy. Number 3, interaction. Interaction with other individual, society, and nature create experiences in which self-identification is organized in relations to social environment. Number 4, leading and motivating. It allows us to change behavior, develop competences, be creative, set goals, grow interest, make plans, develop talents, and boost engagement. Motivation is the fuel that will keep you going as you discover and create the best version of yourself. Number 5, curiosity. It makes your mind active and passive. Also, curiosity, it derives the process of learning and desire to acquire knowledge and skill. The last, number 6, communication skills. Communication skills, it helps us build and maintain relationships with others. It focuses on learning the important skills set that helps you effective and efficiently communicate your ideas and messages in simple ways and also on time. And that's all the 6 significance or importance of personality development.
Theories of personality. Sigmund Freud's psychodynamic theory is one of the most influential theories of personality. Freud proposed that personality is composed of three main components: the ID, or the unconscious desires and instincts; the ego, or the mediator between the ID and external reality; and the superego, or the internalized moral standards. He also emphasized the importance of unconscious processes, childhood experiences, and defense mechanisms in shaping personality. Now, let us know what is ID. What is the ID? So, the ID is the primitive and instinctive component of personality. The ID is a part of the unconscious that contains all the urges and impulses, including what is called the libido, a kind of generalized sexual energy that is used for everything from survival instincts to appreciation of art. The ID is also kind of stubborn, for it responds only to what Freud called the pleasure principle. If it feels good, then do it, and nothing else. It consists of all the inherited or the biological components of personality present at birth, including the sex or life, the instinct, eros, which contains the libido, and the aggressive or death or the instinct. So the ID is the impulsive and the unconscious part of our psyche which responds directly and immediately to basic urges, needs, and desires. The personality of the newborn child is all ID, and only later does it develop an ego and superego. That is why the ID remains infantile in its function throughout a person's life and does not change with time or experience, as it is not in touch with the external world. Next is the ego. The ego is that part of the ID which has been modified by the direct influence of the external world. Meaning, the ego is the only part of the conscious personality. It's what the person is aware of when they think about themselves, and it is what they usually try to project toward others. The ego develops to mediate between the unrealistic ID and the real external world. It is the decision-making component of personality. Ideally, the ego works by reason, whereas the ID is chaotic and unreasonable. The ego operates according to the reality principle, working out realistic ways of satisfying the ID's demands, often compromising or postponing satisfaction to avoid negative consequences of society. That is why the ego considers social realities and norms, etiquette, and rules in deciding how to behave. Like the ID, the ego seeks pleasure and avoids pain. But unlike ID, the ego is concerned with devising a realistic strategy to obtain pleasure. The ego has no concept of right or wrong. Something is good simply if it achieves its end of satisfying without causing harm to itself or the ID. Next is the superego. What is the superego? The superego incorporates the values and morals of society which are learned from one's parents and others. It evolves around the age of 3 to 5 years during the phallic stage of psychosexual development. The superego is seen as the purveyor or rewards or feelings of pride and satisfaction, and punishments, feelings of shame and guilt, depending on which part, the ego, deal, or conscious, is activated. The superego is a part of the unconscious that is the voice of conscience, or doing what is right, and the source of self-criticism. It reflects society's moral values to some degree, and a person is sometimes aware of their own morality and ethics. But the superego contains a vast number of codes or prohibitions that are issued mostly unconsciously in the form of commands or don't statements. The superego's function is to control the ID's impulses, especially those which society forbids, such as sex and aggression. It also has a function of persuading the ego to turn to moralistic goals rather than simply realistic ones and to strive for perfection. That is why the ego and the superego are all important pieces of our psyche. The ID's desires conflict with the ego's desires, and the ego's desires conflict with the superego desires, and so on. These three components of the mind will always oppose each other to a certain extent. But through acknowledging the ID, training your willpower, and becoming more self-aware of your superego, you can teach these three components of your psyche to exist in relative harmony.
Erikson theories means postulates that people advance through the stage of development based on how they adjust to social crises throughout their lives. These are the factors of responsibility to success of Erikson theory. Number one is desire. Desire has been identified as a recurring philosophical problem. It has been variously interpreted as what compels someone towards the highest states of human nature or consciousness, as being posited as either something to be eliminated or a powerful source of potential. Number two, commitment. An individual's determination to extend efforts towards a goal over time in order to achieve it. Dedication to a particular organization, cause, or belief, and a willingness to get involved. Number three, responsibility. Something you are expected to do. Being responsible, doing the things you are supposed to do, accepting responsibility, taking the praise of blame for something you have done. Number four, hard work. They put a great deal of effort into their work, either physically, mentally, or emotionally. They put in extra long hours. They work at high intensity, completing a large volume of work in a reduced time frame. They are diligent and consistent and maintain high standards at all times, above the average level. Number five, character. The way someone thinks, feel, and behaves, your personality, especially how reliable and honest you are. Number six, positive believing, the practice of focusing on the good in any given situation. It can have a big impact on your physical and mental health. That doesn't mean you ignore reality or make light of problems. Number seven, give more than you get. The more you give, the more you get. So it's the act of giving truly an act of kindness, even if you know you'll receive. There is an old saying, it is better to give than to receive. Number eight, the power of persistence. The ability to stand up and take a step forward when everyone else sits down. When your persistence, you learn that each failure gives you another opportunity to learn. With each failure, you'll become more resilient. You'll also learn how you can overcome any challenges.
We have four hurdles in achieving success. The first one is lack of information. When you have lack of information, you need to identify where you have gaps in your knowledge and including this as part of your goal. Your goal will move you closer to achieving it. There are several ways to obtain new information, like reading, plan or research, or listening to CDs, on a specific topic or networking with your individuals which have the knowledge to share with you. The second one is lack of skill. Lack of skill. In order to move forwards, you may have to pick up skills along the way. This need not to be an enormous challenge. As part of your goal setting, understanding what skills you need to acquire them will form steps of your plan. This does not necessarily mean that you need to enroll that course, although that is a great idea. But other alternatives such as online study, planned reading, or shadowing a colleague in the workplace or seeking advice from a friend can also help you obtain the skills you need. And the third is limiting belief. Limiting belief. We all have a set of beliefs which we live our lives. These are set of subconscious of an early age. Sometimes these beliefs can hold you back and limit your ability to achieve your goals. Unable to make progress or stuck when a way of working is no longer effective. Continue to use the limiting belief here to often forms a comfort zone. Or the limiting belief here could be, I can change or I won't change. People will state that actually. And here we are seeing self-sabotage and not valuing themselves and their own ability. And the last one is well-being. Well-being. Despite your best efforts, there may be times when you have simply not be able to pursue your goals. A sudden illness or injury can set you back. When this happens, you need to be realistic. Beating yourself up will not help, nor simply giving up. Take a little time to reassess your goal and consider as your options are now. How important is it that this goal is achieved within the original time frame? And also consider how else your goal can be pursued and who can help you during that time.
Failure. Causes of failure. Number 1. Lack of persistence. This refers to a tendency to give up easily or quickly lose motivation when facing obstacles or setbacks. Without persistence, it can be difficult to achieve long-term goals or make significant progress. Number 2. Lack of convictism. Convictism refers to a strong belief or conviction in something, whether it's personal value or cause or goal. Without this conviction, it can be challenging to stay committed to a particular course of action or make difficult decisions. Number 3 is rationalization. Rationalization is the act of justifying or explaining away one's behavior, decisions, or feelings, often to avoid taking responsibility or facing unpleasant truths. This can lead to attack or to lack of accountability and hinder personal growth. Number 4. Dismissal of past mistakes. This refers to a tendency to ignore or minimize the impact of one's past mistakes or failures. Without acknowledging and learning from these experiences, it can be challenging to improve and avoid repeating the same mistakes. Number 5. Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline refers to the ability to stick to a plan or routine even when it's challenging or inconvenient. Without discipline, it can be challenging to develop new habits, learn new skills, or achieve long-term goals. Number 6, we have poor self-esteem. This refers to a negative self-image or a lack of confidence in one's abilities and worth. Poor self-esteem can lead to a lack of motivation, self-doubt, and self-sabotage. Last but not the least is a fatalistic attitude. A fatalistic attitude is a belief that events are predetermined or inevitable and that individuals have little control over their lives or outcomes. This mindset can lead to a lack of initiative, resignation, and a sense of hopelessness. SWOT analysis is a strategic tool that helps individuals and organizations identify their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It can be used as a framework for developing personal, professional, and improving personality development. In using the SWOT analysis tool, we have strengths. It refers to the positive qualities and traits that an individual possesses. Identifying your strengths can help you build confidence and leverage your abilities to achieve your goals. Examples of strengths and personality development include good communication skills, positive attitude, empathy and emotional intelligence, strong work ethic, creativity and innovation, adaptability and flexibility, self-discipline and self-motivation. So another one is weaknesses. It refers to the areas in which an individual lacks of struggles with. Recognizing your weaknesses can help you improve yourself and develop in your areas. Examples of weaknesses in personality development include we have procrastination, lack of assertiveness, poor time management, low self-esteem, impulsiveness, difficulty managing stress, poor listening skills. Number 3, we have opportunities. Opportunities refers to external factors that can help an individual grow and develop. And identifying opportunities can help you make advantage of them to improve your personality development. Examples of opportunities and personality development include the professional development programs or courses. Second one is the networking and mentorship opportunities. Exposure to new experiences and challenges. Traveling and cultural immersion. Volunteering and community involvement. Then personal coaching or counseling. And the last one is developing new hobbies and interests. The last one in using the SWOT analysis tools, we have traits. It refers to external factors that can hinder an individual's personality development. In recognizing traits can help you avoid or mitigate them to contive and gaming and development. Include negative or toxic relationships, economic or financial challenges, health issues or disabilities, personal obstacles such as addiction or mental health issues.